at the very least, look at your business and ask yourself, what do I need to do to be successful in my business? And successful, once again, could be securing a client, selling a product, or whatever the case may be. And what are those steps? And then follow those steps every time. And you may have to refine or, you know, adjust these steps, but don't deviate the thing or the steps that make you successful. If you know for a fact that in order for you to be successful as a business owner, there are 5 things that you need to do on a regular basis, why are you not doing those 5 things on a consistent basis? Or better yet, why don't you have it written down and then give to someone else or train them so then they can do it?
Hello, Eric, my man. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you again for even giving me the opportunity to come on your platform and to have a great conversation. So definitely appreciate it.
Beautiful, man. And thank you so very much for being here, you see. I truly appreciate you, man. And you see, Eric, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Eric, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Eric, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Eric, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did. And it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. Beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes
Yeah.
now, Eric. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day, and I was so excited. Here was my point, man. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Eric that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, my man, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from those beautiful things Eric is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Eric. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
No problem. And like I say, even before we hit record, it's a two-way street, right? Most people, especially in this day and age, when you see someone that you see doing good things and you want to know more about them or learn from them or whatever have you, in a good way, right? Not just inquiring for someone just because you want to use them, right? Because we have those sharks in the water also is very humbling. But also, like for me, one thing that I tell people all the time, okay, it's a good thing that you're looking at what I'm doing, but note that if you see me doing it, you can do it also, or some sort of variation of that, right? Sometimes people think that they're up here, right? And someone is down here as opposed to saying, hey, no, thank you for the compliments, but what I'm doing, you can do also. Or in some instances, I tell people, hey, you can even do it better than I can, especially when it comes to, certain tools and technologies or just the will to win. as opposed to in my past when I would say something. Well, first and foremost, I couldn't say something as eloquent as you just did. Back in the day, I will stumble all over my words. So much props to you. However, you know, sometimes people will not even pour into someone else to say, hey, you can do exactly what I'm doing. You can do it better than me. So it doesn't just, the person's just not giving the compliment to the person that they are looking up to, admire, or whatever have you. But then there's an instant exchange of, okay, just because I'm quote unquote at level 8, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get to level 8 yourself, or even level 9 or 10 or whatever have you. Because if you think about it, let's say you have 2 cups, right? And one cup is poured into the other cup, right? Then the cup that's a little bit fuller needs to pour back into that other cup. So there's always an even exchange of water, liquids, or even just joy, kindness, or whatever have you, encouragement, however you want to look at it. So it's an even exchange. One thing that for me, based off of everything that I'm doing, I've learned that, it also depends on the type of person that you are, right? Because how your personality will be a direct line on how you interact with people or encourage people, or in some instances, how some people kick people down in a sense. Like for me, I'm a very kind individual, and I like to, even though I'm work hard, very determined, things of that nature, but I can't get away from the fact that I'm a kind individual. Not kind enough, and this is just for the listeners out there, not you, but if there's anyone listening and thinking that kindness and being successful do not merge together, they do. You just have to have a certain level of discernment when you are, being kind, because you give, everybody deserves love from you, but everybody doesn't deserve access to you, if that makes sense, right? So you should,
A
based
lot.
off of, with the Lord and things of that nature, you're supposed to love everyone, because that's one of the premises in the Bible. And just for anybody listening, I'm not an expert in the Bible. I'm still, of course, a child of God and still learning and things of that nature. You owe everybody love, but you don't owe everybody access, because you don't know the type of person that is trying to get to know you better or get into your world and things of that nature, right? And you don't want, based off of your kindness and your accomplishments, to let certain people in who are going to use and abuse you, right? That's
All
one of the
right.
things that with my story, even with all the successes and things of that nature, because I still feel, for me, everything that I've done, hopefully, is just, it's not just, it's the gift from the Lord in a sense. He's given me these gifts. So I want to make sure that I, I'm a humble servant in a sense, right? So even for me, I don't
Uh-huh.
get too caught up in my accomplishments, because I don't want it to be self-serving, right? Because he could have given, based off of all my accomplishments, he could have given those gifts to someone else, but he chose not to. But he also gave me those gifts for a reason, right? Still trying to figure out what that reason is. Or every time that I make an accomplishment, I have to learn and reflect, okay, Lord, what do you want? What do you want to do with me next? Right? Because it's, once again, it's not just self-serving and it's all about me, which a lot of people in the United States, they wanted to make it about themselves, as opposed to, yes, these are the accomplishments that I have accomplished, but what am I doing to continue to serve a higher power, right? So, and when I tell people that, I don't know if I'm running. This is a transparent moment. I don't know if I'm running away from my accomplishments or
Uh-huh.
the praise from the compliments, because ultimately, regardless of what I accomplish, the amount of money that I make, and the things that I do, it is all I work for one being, right? And that's the best gift possible in a sense, right? So for me, I don't need the fame. I don't need oh, Eric, this is great. It's appreciated. But at the same time, I know that there's a deeper reason why I'm being blessed with these accomplishments and things of that nature. And ultimately is to serve him. And a lot of people don't want to say that, right? They don't want to
Right.
give the Lord and Jesus their just due, their props. But I can go on record. I will be nothing at all without his blessings,
Oh,
his
yeah.
grace, his mercy, and things of that nature, right? And it's just, a lot of people who are highly successful, not all, but you see a lot of people that blow past that and they think that everything that they've accomplished and everything that they receive is just based off of them, not knowing that they are a conduit from a higher power, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. But I mean,
Mhm.
that's just me. That's why I click with a lot of people who are, um, like I said, who are kind individuals who work hard, of course, but they understand who they're ultimately working for. And that's the thing that draws me in. So regardless if I'm at my level, whatever that means, or somebody is below me, whatever that means, as long as they understand who they're serving, they can get to wherever they want to get into life, whether it's a lot of money, whether it's a lot of notoriety, whatever floats their boat. But once again, for me, knowing that these gifts that were given to me and the gifts that were given to you, my friend, and the gifts that are given to your listeners, you've been given those gifts for a reason, ultimately to serve and to help. And if you get some notoriety and you get well, let me just say this. There's no amount of notoriety that will replace me not getting into heaven,
Mm,
if that makes
mm,
sense,
mm.
right? No amount of money, no amount of notoriety, because that's the ultimate, right? Because you have some people now that we look from the outside looking in, they're highly successful. They have money, they have fame and things of that nature, but they are not getting into heaven,
So
right?
true.
So yeah, the accomplishments are cool, but just, knowing that having the opportunity to exercise the gifts that, the good Lord has given me
Yeah.
is the best
Beautiful.
thing. So
I tell
yeah,
you, I tell you. This is really beautiful. And there's this part where you said that everyone deserves your love, but not everyone deserves access to you. That really is deep. I tell you. How did you come up with that? That's a profound statement, my man.
actually, well, first and foremost, I'm not going to even take credit. I'm not the original, um, curator of that. I don't know if you know of this pastor. His name is Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell of this church called 2819. I don't know if you've heard of him. If you haven't, I'll send you his YouTube stuff. This is a great pastor based off in Atlanta, right? Even though I'm based off of Chicago, he's in Atlanta. This guy preaches with fire. So if you, even after this podcast interview, go to YouTube and search up 2819 Church, right? So during one of his sermons, he talked about how he's able to, he's a very spiritual, very deep spiritual guy, right? He was able to talk about how he can kind of feel people's intentions through the Lord, right? And through the Lord's protection and through his grace and his mercy, he's able to kind of sense the intentions of people, right? And in his sermon, he was like, everybody deserves love, but everybody doesn't deserve your access, right? Which was profound for me because that's true, right? We are supposed to even, and I'm still trying to learn this also, right? We are supposed to love our enemies. We're supposed to love our
That's
enemies,
right.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if someone is trying to deliberately hurt me or my family, I'm not going to let you get access or get close to me because you may be, this is a whole nother spiritual conversation within itself, but you may not have the spirit of the Lord on you and you trying to get near me to hurt me. Or somebody may be trying to get near to hurt you or your family or things of that nature. So they don't deserve that access, but I can still love them from afar, even though that may be hard for me to do because I'm still a human and this flesh doesn't always, I won't say always agree with what the Bible says, but will, as we kind of talked before the camera even turned on, we're living in a time where people will deliberately hurt you for your beliefs. We kind of
Right.
talked about that before, right? But at the same time, don't quote me on this, even when Jesus was on the cross, what did he say? I'm paraphrasing. Forgive them, Lord, for they not know what they do.
Do yeah,
So
that's right.
even forgiveness is a source of love in a sense, right? So I take that to heart, right? I can love people from afar, but if I know you have ill intentions or you're trying to hurt me or my family or things of that nature, it'll be crazy of me to even give you access to me. So that's why I said that quote because it resonated. But once again, that quote does not come from me. That comes from Pastor Philip, and I'll be messing his name up. I'm sorry. Pastor
Worries.
Philip Anthony Michael, right? From
Oh,
Church
okay.
2819. So that's, I got that from
That's a
him. That's
beautiful word
his, but it's, yeah, I'll
to
send it
tell
to
you.
you. I'll
All
send it
right,
to you.
please
You
do.
definitely need to watch it.
Yeah, and the fact that you are giving all credits and glory to God, that says a lot about the kind of person that you are. And I tell you that it bothers me, or should I say, surprises me when I see folks, solely live for material things. They're doing all that they're doing just because they want to accumulate this, accumulate that. The Holy Spirit called them jobless walking individuals because he asked me, he said, before that, he said, there are a lot of people in the world there. The jobs or the work that they're doing it solely to make money, accumulate all of this wealth and material things, and that's all. And he said, if money becomes as available as grains of sand today, many of these individuals will quit their job and sit down at home doing nothing. It is really weird. We came all the way from heaven down to this planet to come, carry out God's assignment. And heaven is an invisible country that is filled with so many glory, the source of all wealth, where the wealth in this place is unlimited. So we left the unlimited avenue of wealth and we came down to this world to come source for all of this small, small wealth. Make it make sense. Those folks, I tell you.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that you are giving credit to God. That's so beautiful. So, Eric, I have just two questions to ask you because you've answered all of my questions already, almost all of my questions, but two. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this. Have you ever, personally, faced business chaos, and how did you bounce back? Let's say we've got some business owners right now listening, sorry, who are going through some chaos in their business. I would like you to talk about that.
Well, the biggest chaos in my business on a personal note was trying to please everyone in my business in a sense. It's two things, trying to please everyone in my business and then also not having the right systems in place, right? So let me talk about the first one, trying to please or I should say trying to serve everyone, right? Because for the first 5 years, I've been in business for, it'll be 13 years. And for the first 5 years, I tried to serve everyone in my business as opposed to niching down and serving a certain group of people, right? And sometimes the chaos that you are experiencing in your business is based off of the fact that you don't know who you're actually serving, right? I'll give you a prime example. So one division of my business is geared towards career management, helping people either define or redefine what they want to do in their career. During the first 5 years of my business, I wasn't making that much money, or not being as successful as I could be. And the reason being is I had the mentality that, well, most people want to work, so my business can serve the majority of people. And I never realized why I didn't get that much traction in my business. But then a good mentor of mine, and my mentor was very, very blunt in the sense he was like, you are wasting time and money because you're trying to serve everyone as opposed to focusing on a specific group of people. Okay. So that hit me hard because my arrogance at the time, my arrogance was, well, I could serve anybody in a sense, as opposed to saying, who needs the most help, or who can I serve the most with this business? So then it got to a point where instead of me having a large group of people, I decided to focus on recent college graduates. Once I focused on a certain group of people in my business, I learned how to talk to them more. So it created a very in-depth relationship with that group of people, specifically recent college graduates, to the point where I specifically knew their pain points. I knew their problems, so I knew how to serve them, right? Once that happened, my chaos went from here to here. There's still a little chaos in a sense, but it zeroed in because I knew specifically who I wanted to serve. But then on the other side of the house, which I see a lot of successful companies do and businesses do nowadays, in your business, you do a certain thing or you sell a certain product, regardless of what your business is. But people do not have a system or a documented step-by-step how-to on how to get from point A, meaning this is the person that is now your new customer, to point Z, how would you serve them, right? Most businesses do 70 to 80 different things to get to the same result. What is the step-by-step process in order to make the cupcakes and to sell the cupcakes, right? It's just a straight line to get to that particular goal. Over 50% of businesses do not have a step-by-step how-to on how to get from point A to point Z, right? And when I say system, it doesn't have to be super technical. It can be something as simple as writing down what are the 10 things that I need to do to make a sale, writing it down on a sheet of paper, and then following that over and over and over again, knowing if you're going to get the same result, meaning a sale or a new customer, why would you deviate from the thing that, or things that get you where you would need to be, right? And that's probably the most eye-opening thing when it comes to businesses. You may have businesses that make, let's say the cliche, they make 6 figures or 7 figures in their business. However, without a step 1, step 2, step 3, however long it may take for them to get to that goal, they don't have it written down. They don't have it documented. So of course you may be a 6-figure business, but since the person doesn't have a orderly step 1, step 2, step 3 system or process in place in their business. And once again, it can be something as writing something down on a sheet of paper. They're missing out on so much more success, right? So for your business owners that are listening to this, and hi business owners, I hope you guys are doing well. At the very least, look at your business and ask yourself, what do I need to do to be successful in my business? And successful, once again, could be securing a client, selling a product, or whatever the case may be, right? And what are those steps and then follow those steps every time. And you may have to refine or, you know, adjust these steps, but don't deviate the thing or the steps that make you successful, right? That's one thing that drives me crazy because if you know for a fact that in order for you to be successful as a business owner, there are 5 things that you need to do on a regular basis, why are you not doing those 5 things on a consistent basis? Or better yet, why don't you have it written down and then give to someone else or train them so then they can do it? Right? So then if you do that, it's not only one person in the business being successful, it's 2 people based off of the same documented steps that are written down, typed up. I don't care. It can be written on a napkin. It just needs to be something written down that could be followed consistently. You know, this is what the big manufacturers are doing. You better believe, like my older brother works for a car company. They have a step by step instructions on how to create a car, how to
Wow.
successfully create a car. And they follow that every single time, knowing that they're going to get a brand new car at the end of the step by step. Now, if they would deviate from that in any way, shape, or form, that's going to alter their success. Or even just based off what you said, if the steps that a business owner would take, 5, 10, 15, 3, it doesn't matter, if you start to do that consistently, then your chaos starts to minimize because you know for a fact that these things are the steps that you need to take in order to be successful. So let me follow these steps that need to be successful. But if you deviate from that, the chaos starts to grow. It starts to go all out of control. But you know, the biggest thing is most business owners, once again, business owners who's listening to this, hey, how you doing? But I'm talking directly to you guys. Some people feel that a step by step is boring, right? It's boring. It's not exciting. But at the same time, you're inflicting this chaos over and over and over again because you're trying to deviate from something that's successful. It makes no sense to me, right? And
Okay.
once I shed that light to business owners, they start to, you know, ask themselves the question, what is the thing that makes me successful? If I can sell cupcakes. Okay. So what are the things that I need to do to get to a sale? I need to get the ingredients. I need to make the cupcakes. I need to put the cupcakes in the oven. I need to decorate the cupcakes. I need to put the cupcakes out on display. Same thing over and over again, knowing if you know that these steps that you document, you do it over and over again, and you get something called a repeatable result, meaning sales, that will revolutionize your business. But for some reason, some people want to make things chaotic and confusing. No, don't do that.
Hmm.
Write down what you need to do in order to be successful in your business, document it, and then follow it. And that's been, on a side note, that's another division in my business where I implement systems and create procedures for small businesses to help them save money and or make more money. And it's been proven. It's been proven because if people want to make if I want to scale my business, because I'm pretty sure you've heard that before, and business owners who are listening, everybody wants to scale their business. You will not be able to scale if you do not have a process in place. Scaling means growing. In order for you to grow, you need to do the same thing over and over and over again that gets you that success. Um, yeah, just
Beautiful.
it's that yes, that's simple.
So,
That's
my
simple.
man, and I got that. So, as a business owner, in order to minimize one's business chaos, one needs to stick to the systems or the process or the steps that guarantees your business success. And
Yeah,
secondly,
that
understand who you are to serve. Wow, I got that. I got that. That's a beautiful one, and I love that. I've got a clap for you.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for even giving me the time to say that because most business owners don't even think like that because they think it may be just as simple as, you know what it is? They let social media and some of the poison that's in social media thinking that, you know, it's hard to be successful in your business. It's not. It's very simple. It's very simple, but some people don't want to take the simple route. But the millionaires and the billionaires that they're looking up to, I guarantee you, all of them have some sort of process or system in their business that makes them successful. And
Hmm.
that's one thing that I would, you know, amplify for you and your listeners.
Got that, my man, and that's a beautiful one. So to bring us to an end, Eric, for folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, or they even need your service, or they want to ask you questions, how can that be possible?
Sure, you could first go to ericbhorn.com or actually, you know what? I like engaging on LinkedIn, right? So you can definitely find me on LinkedIn. Just go to Eric B. Horn and you should see my profile picture. If you see it, it's the picture of me with a orange background. You can't miss it. My big head in the suit and an orange background, but definitely reach out and connect regardless of where you are in the world. The only thing that I ask is, you know, please be kind but that's the biggest thing, right? Just be kind because I love to connect with people who are kind-hearted individuals. Definitely also have to be, motivated and very driven in what you're trying to do, whether it's a business or your career or things of that nature, but definitely be kind. More doors will open for you if you exercise, of course, your hard work, your professionalism, but if you lead with that kindness, it will open up more doors and more opportunities than you would ever imagine. That's the
Beautiful.
biggest thing for me. Please connect with me,
Beautiful, my
please.
man. So that's going to be the end of the show, Eric. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
No, thank you, thank you, thank you. Agree. You have something great going on